To show you what I mean, you have to hear the story of Rick Guerin. You've likely heard of the investing duo of Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger, but 40 years ago there was a third member of the group, Rick Guerin. Warren, Charlie, and Rick made investments together and interviewed business managers together. Then Rick kind of disappeared, at least relative to Buffett and Munger's success. Investor Monish Pabrai once asked Buffett what happened to Rick. Monish recalled, Warren said, Charlie and I always knew that we would become incredibly wealthy. We were not in a hurry to get wealthy. We knew it would happen. Rick was just as smart as us, but he was in a hurry. What happened was that in the 1973 to 1974 downturn, Rick was levered with margin loans and the stock market went down almost 70% in those 2 years. So he got margin calls. He sold his Berkshire stock to Warren. Warren actually said, I bought Rick's Berkshire stock at under $40 a piece. Rick was forced to sell because he was levered. Charlie, Warren and Rick were equally skilled at getting wealthy. But Warren and Charlie had the added skill of staying wealthy, which over time is the skill that matters most. Nassim Taleb put it this way, having an edge and surviving are two different things. The first requires the second. You need to avoid ruin at all costs. Applying the survival mindset to the real world comes down to appreciating little things. 1. More than I want big returns, I want to be financially unbreakable. And if I'm unbreakable, I actually think I'll get the biggest returns because I'll be able to stick around long enough for compounding to work wonders. No one wants to hold cash until a bull market. They want to own assets that go up a lot. You look and feel conservative holding cash during a bull market because you become acutely aware of how much return you're giving up by not owning the good stuff. Say cash earns 1% and stocks return 10% a year. That 9% gap will gnaw at you every day. But if that cash prevents you from having to sell your stocks during a bear market, the actual return you earned on that cash is not 1% a year. It could be many multiples of that. Because preventing one desperate ill-timed stock sale can do more for your lifetime returns than picking dozens of big-time winners. Compounding doesn't rely on working big returns. Merely good returns sustained uninterrupted for the longest period of time, especially in times of chaos and havoc, will always win. 2. Planning is everything, but the most important part of every plan is to plan on the plan not going according to plan. What's the saying? You plan, God laughs. Financial and investment planning are critical because they let you know whether your current actions are within the realm of reasonable. But few plans of any kind survive their first encounter with the real world. If you are projecting your income, savings rate and market returns over the next 20 years, think about all the big stuff that's happened in the last 20 years and no one could have foreseen. September 11th, a housing boom and bust that cost nearly 10 million Americans to lose their homes, a financial crisis that caused almost 9 million to lose their jobs, a record-breaking stock market rally that ensured, and a coronavirus that shakes the world as I write this. A plan is only useful if it can survive reality and a future filled with unknowns in everyone's reality. A good plan doesn't pretend this weren't true. It embraces it and emphasizes room for error. The more you need specific elements of a plan to be true, the more fragile your financial life becomes. If there's enough room for error in your savings rate, that you can say it would be great if the market returns 8% a year over the next 30 years, but if it does only 4% a year, I'll still be okay. The more valuable your plan becomes. Many bets fail not because they were wrong, but because they were mostly right in a situation that required things to be exactly right. Room for error, often called margin of safety, is one of the most underappreciated forces in finance. It comes in many forms: a frugal budget, flexible thinking, and a loose timeline. Anything that lets you live happily with a range of outcomes. It's different from being conservative. Conservative is avoiding a certain level of risk. Margin of safety is raising the odds of success at a given level of risk by increasing your chances of survival. Its magic is that the higher your margin of safety, the smaller your edge needs to be to have a favorable outcome.